Hey, hello, everybody. Carm Capriato, Town Hall Academy. It is episode number 251 straight weeks in a row as we bring you actually the Aftermarket's original weekly single subject forum. Have so much fun doing this, and we actually do so many things to advance the automotive aftermarket. So I'm so glad you're here. We have a great crew today. In fact, if hanging around, in backstage before we go live is any indication of the kind of show we're going to have today, we're going to have a really fun time. And although we're talking about a very serious topic about growing sales in a new location, we're coming to you live from the Remarkable Results Radio Podcast studio. So glad to have you here as I said, the place where you come to have that private personal networking thing. My guests, let me see who's here. Look at this crew. And we have been laughing so hard previous to coming on here. And I said just before we turned on the live button, guys, let's get serious. This is really an important show. Kevin Saeed is here, the owner of 8-location Integrity First Automotive in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Kevin, glad to have you here, man.
Thanks for having me, Carm.
Do you think he may have an idea of how to grow sales at a new location?
Just a little bit.
I bet you. Carl Hutchinson from Complete Automotive in Springfield, Missouri, and recently location number 2.
Yes, jumped into the multi-shop groups with all the other crazies.
Now, was it because your friends did it, or did you think it was the right thing to do?
Oh, that's a topic for another show.
Yeah, I was just
you get around great people and they just pull you along. So
amazing, honest answer. Thank you very much. Kenny Wedow is with us from Fine Tuned Auto, 2 locations, Broomfield and Erie, Colorado. Hey, Kenny.
Hey, good morning.
Good to see you. Kenny's got an interesting story, Carl. I mean, I've done shows with all these guys, right? And if you want to find out some really deep detail on Store 2 with Carl and Store 2 with Kenny, go to my website, type in Carl Hutchinson or Kenny Wedow, and I'm telling you guys, they're really cool stories. We got a full-blown tour of cutting the concrete at Carl's place, and Kenny took over an existing, was it a Firestone?
It was a Great American Tire.
A Great American Tire, but it was abandoned for what, 8, 9, 10 years?
15 years.
15 years. And we saw how he actually turned that place into show place. And Kevin, you just every month you put on a new store?
Well, I wish that's the plan, but we're trying to do 2 to 3 at this very time, 2 to 3 every year. Yes, sir.
2 to 3 every year. So an awful lot of business intelligence and acumen here with you. I want to thank so much our partners here on the show. What do Worldpac, Mitchell 1, Kukui, and QuickBooks have in common? Well, they work with Shopware. Connecting the aftermarket together, Shopware's all-in-one platform maximizes shop efficiency, and they deliver customer satisfaction without compromise. Get the shop management software trusted across our entire industry on the web at getshopware.com. And hey, lots of companies say they can help your shop get more reviews, but what do they really offer? Well, Broadly is the only platform that partners with Google for reviews and messaging in the auto space. On the web at getbroadly.com/chat. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and thanks. Next week, just before the Thanksgiving holiday, Tuesday, we always do the live show, the Aftermarket Weekly. We get a great guest host and a tour of Justin Fricke's place, Car Time Auto Center. Can't wait for that next Tuesday. And maybe you need a boss next Friday, Town Hall Academy. That's Black Friday, but we'll be on the air. Actually, it'll be recorded, but it'll be a lot of fun. Maybe you need a boss. And I think you have an idea of what we're going to talk about there. So, and by the way, so here it was this morning, team, and I don't mean to belabor our great discussion. This box shows up about 10 o'clock this morning at my front door, and I open it up, and I get a caricature of myself from my good friends Leanne Best and Bill Hill. And there was something else in the box, but we won't talk about that because I'm not sure you can talk about it on the internet. But thank you so much, guys. I've never had something like that done, and I had to quickly hang it in the studio because this is my Carm Cave right here. Okay, let's get ready to hammer our subject. Here's what's on my mind that I hopefully we can cover: expansion. Careful. Get good advice. Have some financial footing, some great financial strength, actually, in my mind. Have your team support you. I'm not telling you guys nothing that you don't know, but I also think that I was talking to a bunch of guys the other day, and they says, "Oh, stop growing just because your buddy's doing it." And then, make sure you've got your team support, that you've got team depth, and so much more. I mean, we can go on a laundry list of things, but careful for expansion and then growing sales, which I think since the trend I see is growing to store 2 and 3 and 4, and in Kevin's case, many, many more. You do it, you work your butt off, and then you hope that maybe the business that you bought had the kind of reputation, but you would know, was it the right location, the right market? Did I do the demographics? Did I actually sit down and plan with my social media people, the marketing tools, and are there mailers, are there giveaways? How involved am I going to be in my community? All of those tools. And I thought we'd have my panel up here to talk about a lot of that stuff and get some great advice. So, Kevin, let's start with you. I mean, I think you want that customer to walk in and say, we're going to learn to trust me, right?
Absolutely. Trust is pretty much everything, Carm. So customers, the good thing about opening a new location is that everybody likes to try new. I'm not really sure about gentlemen and other towns, but in DFW, it's a growing market. It's fast. It's growing like one of the fastest growing market that there is in the whole US. And we have a lot of people moving in. And what that does, it creates these opportunities. Every time I open a new store, those people like to try us at least once. And I tell my guys, they'll come to you once, give them a reason to come back to you. How does that start? That starts from building trust. Hence, I always tell my team, and we always educate them on not actually selling anything, but not doing transactions, but building customers for life. And how does that start? That starts in a way where you treat everyone walking through like your mother, daughter, sister, father, and educating them. So that is what we train our guys on. Do not see them just as a dollar sign. They're coming to you not by choice. They're already not very happy. So make their day better. How can you do so? And this is really, that ideology has really helped us grow and get customers. I always tell them wholeheartedly, because if you fake it, they'll know it. So from the bottom of your heart, take care of them. And you're lucky to be in the field where you're actually able to help people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for your soul as well. So
I love what he said. I think there's something that he said that's worth repeating, and that is, you'll try it for the first time. And I think everyone here can put themselves into the shoes of the customer when we have tried a new restaurant out in town. And here we are, loyal to a certain place that we would go. Maybe it's local and hardworking business people. And all of a sudden, there's a place down the road. It could be a national chain, could be something. And we say, just for the heck of it, I'm hungry. You're hungry 3 times a day or more, right? Let's give this a try. And if they're smart, they're going to do everything that they could possibly do. Everything. And then if they grow their business to that point, then they have to make sure that the plates are full. The service is great. The place is clean. The drinks are poured heavy. I mean, go down the list, right? If you put yourself in that position of, have you ever showed disloyalty to a favorite restaurant? Well, God, you don't want your customers to leave you for that. And that's that stickiness that we talk about in that, that constant retention piece. So thank you for bringing that up. And I tossed that out as possibly a talking topic for anyone here.
Yep. No, I think Kevin's exactly right. It's one of those things. I think all of us can make the phone ring. Making the phone ring is not hard. It's what happens when the phone rings and they start building that rapport just immediately, and getting to know that customer, not just to get them in to make the appointment, but to really ask them the wheres and the whys of why they're calling, and how can they help them. And there's so many things that go on to it. It's the marketing part of it is just one aspect, but if you don't have a person that's trained answering the phone and that cares, it all negates it. It negates everything. So yeah, Kevin's dead on with, you got to have people there. The place has got to look good, got to smell good, that kind of thing. I mean, those are just must haves anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems important to set the standard when you come in, and we have a lot of customers that call my main shop or my original location, and then we may be backed up over there, so we send them over to the second location, and so we want to have them to have the same experience that they're used to, as they're trying out our new shop, because our one shop's backed up a week or whatever that is. So it's important to have consistency and certain systems in place to be able to provide the same level of service that we always have.
So Carl, let's talk about one of the key things of expansion, and that is location. I know that we've chatted about that before, but shouldn't location already be a given? And because part of your marketing strategy would be location.
Well, I think it's easier for the second, fourth, fifth, or 10th. I don't know. I'm going to ride on Kevin's coattails here on this one, but our first location had a horrible location, honestly. And even when we moved, we bought a facility that had great visibility, but it was a little bit hard to get to actually get in the parking lot. So our location's great, but it's always one of those things. We use it as a marketing tool. Hey, once you find us, you'll never forget. So we had to have fun with it. But when it come to our second location, we got real picky. I mean, it's like, well, if I'm going to go start something up from nothing, the location's got to be number one. I mean, we had to have high visibility, high traffic, at least a place that we could make it shine and make it look good. So to me, I had a lot of opportunities to buy a lot of things that were really good deals, but man, I don't think I could have marketed my way into them. I don't think I could have drugged people to them, just for the simple fact it took 3 turns and you got to go behind a building and whatever. And those were just not good things. So honestly, location is part of the marketing part of it. It's got to be accessible.
And Carl, I agree and I disagree. And it's very interesting when I saw location. So agree in the sense that, yes, it helps if you don't want a distraction. And I'll tell you what I mean by distraction.
Yes, I get that. Yeah, I'm
right,
with you.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're opening a first or a second location, location doesn't matter, to me, it never mattered. So mine was very much the same, just like Carl's location. If you can find us, you'll never forget. And I love what you just said. And it was a good location, but it was tucked back. And it was in a little small connecting road that was connecting 2 major arteries. And anyhow, 4 managements had changed when I took over this place. 4 managements within 2 years.
Wow.
We went in, and I kid you not, Carm, within 2 weeks, because I opened on the 15th, September 15th, I believe. Within 2 weeks, we did double what they had done in a month. So that's what we did. Anyhow, it was because I was there. I was doing customer service. I was doing everything. I mean, wearing all the hats, just like we all do. The second location, pretty much the same. But after the second, and this is where Kenny and Carl would really love what I'm about to say, that I realized for the third one, the distraction, by distraction, I mean the shop that I really have to give my time to wasn't the best idea. So had I had a good location, customers would come to you even more and
Mhm.
more easier for them to find where you're at, and you really wouldn't have to worry about that advertisement and really wouldn't have to worry about their convenience. So yes, once you're scaling, you want to make sure location is good, because trust me, you're going to be struggling with that quite a lot. And I learned that the hard way from my fourth location that's actually tucked all the way in the back
Yeah.
of a little shopping center.
Yeah, that's great advice. I was really hoping you weren't leading me down the wrong path there, Kevin,
Nah.
and made me feel bad about my choices. But that is one of the things. We market less for the second location than we do for the first, but also we're not that far apart. We're only about 7 or 8 miles apart,
Yeah, same here.
and we have a reputation, and we already have a process going, so it's feeding off of. But yeah, we don't have to drag people to the second location because there's thousands of cars driving by every day. I will say one thing about the distraction though is now that we're easier, the distractions that we see are, hey, can you do a state inspection real quick? Or, hey, I've got a tire that's flat. Or, hey, I mean, it's just these really, I hate to say time suckers, but now that we're easy, that stuff's easy. Where
Yeah.
our first shop is like, well, if I have to make 3 turns to get there,
Right. I'll go somewhere else.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And at my new location, we get a ton of walk-in,
Yes.
people, because we're on a major road that's got 45,000 cars a day going past it, in an area that's got, it's pretty high average household medium income. And so it's been really interesting to see the differences, because we'll start out, our schedule on a week and we won't have a very busy week. And then all of a sudden it just fills in with, walk-in oil changes. I mean, I'd bet that we probably do twice the amount of walk-in oil changes at shop 2 that we do at shop 1.
Mhm.
And location to me has been really huge, because this year we're going to exceed we're going to match our sales that took me in my other location, 4 or 5 years to get to that point. So, it's been a huge difference.
How long have you been open there, Kenny?
My original location's been open for 8 years, and the new one I opened up in March.
In March, and that's what we're talking about. A lot more oil changes than the first
Yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's always that way. Yep,
That's right.
because they want to give you a chance.
Yeah,
Right, 'cause they
that's
give you
the
that test.
Yeah,
that's the test. That's the test.
That's right.
Hey guys, thank you for this discussion on growth and for you, Kevin, saying confession about your fourth location, and what just prompts me really quickly is you broke your stride on location 4, but then you went back in 5, 6, 7, and 8 to making sure location was prime.
Yes, Carm. It was a little tough because I've realized I tried a few different crew members, pretty strong, and 1 or 2 of them seasoned store managers as well at the store, and told them, and I knew if anyone, those are the guys who will make this location run really good. And we've realized at the end of the day, whatever we were inputting, we weren't really getting that. We weren't getting back that output for it. So that's hence I call that distraction, really putting so much into it and still getting very mediocre results. So then I knew, okay, it is the location. And as much as I told my guys that I never want to hear that word location, I knew deep within it was the location.
Very
I
good.
think it would work for a specialty thing. I mean, we got a couple of specialty things that we're rolling around and trying to decide whether we want to do or not. But I think those would work in the off the beaten path. But if we're doing general service, the meat, potatoes, whatever you want to call it, kind of work, I think the location has to be there. But when we were talking about the talking points earlier, I totally forgot about some of the great people that we have doing our stuff, some of our social media stuff and our website. And man, I couldn't believe I forgot all that stuff, but that is a huge necessity.
Okay, guys,
Yeah.
let's jump into. Thank you for this. I think this was a really healthy discussion. But let's talk about, okay, what are we going to do as far as marketing and internet and direct mail? And Kenny, I think you're a gambler because you love poker chips. He loves
Actually, I don't
chips.
play poker, but yeah. One of the things that we did is we created a poker chip, and I have one here. I'm going to show you guys. But we created a poker chip, and we did a lot of grassroots marketing. So we're in a plaza, supermarket plaza. So we went around to all the local businesses before we opened and said, hey, we're going to open up soon, and here's a free oil change. And my original one for my original location was just a single phone number on the back and my logo. And then my new one, we just kind of did a redesign on it, and we added both locations on the back. And so it's basically good at either location. So it's really worked out good because it's gotten people to come in the door and try us, and it's, no red, no small fine print there. Just come on in, bring this in, and we'll take care of you, and we're going to give you the service and, show you how we're different with digital inspections and things like that. So,
Kenny, how are you giving them out?
we usually give them out to people that, like I said, we walked around, we did that, and then we're getting ready to do a campaign starting December, and everybody that comes in either location in December is going to get a coffee mug, a lens wipe, a tire pressure gauge, and then 1 in 10 of the mugs is going to have a free oil change on it as well. So I've got 500 coffee mugs at my shop right now, getting ready to go out. So,
Wow.
yeah. So
Very nice.
it's been
The
pretty
good
cool.
old swag bag.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, the good old swag bag. Yeah.
Right.
So if you're out in the community, do you have a pocket full of the poker chips?
Yeah, I usually carry a couple. If I'm at a local restaurant, I may give it to the server. We'll talk to them. The other night we had our managers meeting, and we're sitting in the booth talking about, kind of where we're at, where we're trying to go with both the shops. And the booth next to us, the guy said, hey, what do you guys do? We told them, and then we handed them one. And so they'll be in with their electrical vehicle. They have a electrical contracting company. They're going to come in for an oil change and service and stuff. So it's good.
Well, that you know what I love about that? It's got instant pocket marketing.
Well, and it's different, right? It's not just the normal. It's unique, and so customers will hang on to it. And I actually had one that broke, and there's actually metal inside, which is weird, but
Wow.
there's some weight to them, so they feel substantial enough to where people hang on to them.
That's a pretty cool idea. I mean, we just got the little business card, gift card.
That's
kind
the
of
generic,
things.
right? This is a different deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. It's a little different, and
Yeah.
it's something that they're not going to necessarily just throw away. I mean,
That's
even
right.
if they throw it on their desk or something, it's unique. I like that.
Yeah, I had a local guy do them for me.
Carl, you invested in your building, great signage, beautiful windows. I mean, we actually watched it go up in a couple of our episodes here. Critically important to make sure you look as professional as you can.
Oh yeah, I think the outside of it has to say that you're professional first. I think everything goes along with it. The paint, signage, uniforms, dress, how people dress, hygiene, all that stuff. I hate to say that, but it's true. I think you have to look professional first. You'll win more people over with the idea that you just look the part. If you look the part, you are the part. And there's some forgiveness there if you can't do something on a timely manner, or God forbid you scratch their car, or whatever happens in this industry. But if you look the part, I think it's huge. And yeah, we had the opportunity to take a building and really polish it up and make it almost have a wow factor to it compared to what it was. I mean, it's so much more inviting now. And that's about everybody that has been there. I get the, wow, you really did a good job, or man, I love this about it, or I love that about it. And, that's what we were after. It's nice to have that ability or the time to do it on shop number 2. Shop number 1, we didn't. It was just like, we got to get cars in here and go.
Right.
I mean, we got to make money. And, shop 2 was a little different. So we got to be able to put the paint and polish to it and really do a nice job. So, but I think that's a wow factor, and people got to be able to see it. It's got to be bright and shiny and lit up and that kind of thing. So
I'm with Carl on that one. That's the icebreaker, right? That's when the customers come in and like, wow, look at this place. I used to come to this place and it looks totally different. So
Right.
those compliments that start rolling in, that's the icebreaker. And there you go. Basically, once you're in their trust circle, now it's easier for you to educate the customers.
Right.
So I'm totally with him. I do exactly the same. We totally remodel everything from outside to inside, and that works great for us.
So what is so great about this last 5 minutes of discussion, this first impression thing. Kevin, Carl, you guys are all into that.
Right.
Is we're here to talk about growing sales for a new location and the impact of first impressions. Guys, where do you weight that? Where's it weighted?
Super high.
Almost number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it, I
100%.
mean, really, yeah. And you can't say it's just the signage or just how they answer the phone or just the postcard they got in the mail or whatever. I think it's all of it. Honestly, I think it's all of it. Everything has to have your A game going. I know every time that we make a mistake or do something that is not our A game as far as marketing, advertising, and customer relations, man, it comes back to get us. I mean, every misspelled word or we didn't quite answer the phone correctly, and you know, just whatever, and it shows up real fast. So it's huge. That first impression to us is huge.
Hey guys, I want to take a time out right now. I want to thank Clint White for hanging out with us. He had a great comment. People know the way you treat your building will be the way you treat their vehicle. Wow.
That's perfect.
Love that. Yeah.
100%.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Clint. That's a big takeaway. Hey, again, thanks to our partner Shopware. Here's something to think about. How often do your advisors play phone tag? Every ring, every voicemail. It's time ticking on a stalled job. Well, Shopware's digital communication is really as easy as the customer just clicks yes. Find out more on the web at getshopware.com. Hey, looking to upgrade your website and make it easier for customers to connect with your shop? Well, let Broadly build you a professional, responsive website that you can be proud to show off on the web at getbroadly.com/chat. Hey, so if you're with us on social media and hanging out with us, please do a share and a like, a comment, even tell us what city you're from. I know Clint's out from the great Northwest. Glad to have him here. Guys, this has been... Why does every Town Hall Academy every week bring so much value to the industry? Because you guys love to come on and share your wisdom, and I so appreciate that. Now, there's some things that we didn't talk about yet, spending money on maybe Google AdWords, some social media, some direct mail, and those would be necessarily the things that everybody puts on their checkbox. But the things that a lot of the stuff that we talked about before is almost, is the relationship, is the trust, it's the soft stuff that's so critical. It's the customer relationships, it's the building, it's the signage, it's the look. Now, let me see, how can I drag some people through the door? So let's talk about that.
I think it's really funny. I look back at our first business plan that we put together in 2008, and my marketing budget was the yellow pages. that was it. That was our total marketing budget, and I had to come up with pocket money to make that happen. So. And now I don't even want to talk about what the marketing budget is now. And I can only imagine what somebody with mini shops is. But I think all those other things that you mentioned I don't want to call them givens, but I think you have to have them. And we start talking about direct mail. I actually dropped direct mail 2 years ago completely, just cold turkeyed it. And I actually saw a tick up in business instead of a tick down. But with Shop 2, we knew we were not touching enough people quickly enough. So we jumped back into the direct mail part of it. But there's so many things now. Yeah, Google Ads and geofencing and guerrilla marketing and, just like what Kenny's doing. I love what Kenny's doing. I think those other things are just, like you said, they're must-haves. I don't think you can do much without doing all of that stuff, having a great website and all that stuff.
Yeah, Kenny, does your size predicate you not having to spend those kind of monies because you've got scale?
What do you mean by that?
I'm sorry. I meant to say Kevin. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm not sure.
I apologize, Kevin.
Repeat that,
With 8 locations, does the scale of your 8 locations predicate you for not spending money on direct mail geofencing because now you're you put them all in this huge basket?
That's a great question. Carm, yes. So the answer is yes. Once you grow and I was listening, and I always relate back to when I was one or two, three shop operator, and I can so relate with Carl and Kenny with those things. I did all of that stuff.
Mhm.
So something that we do, you also got to see. We do a lot of advertisement. First of all, you got to know where you're at. So this would be great for the listeners. First, you need to know where you're at. Who's your clientele? If it's one of those small towns, you want to do the paper direct mail. That is what you want to do because they still go through all that. They may not even have Facebook, and their kids may be off to another town. So you got to know where you're at. We're here in DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, and everything is very modernized. Everybody's moving. We're getting transplant from California, Chicago. I'm not going to get political whether I like that or not. But anyhow, so they're very people who are more on social reason. I would say, um, yes, you got to know who, which advertisement would speak to which clientele. And we have started doing, I'm going to tell you guys something great. Uh, we do a lot of actually check back on everything that we do. Everything that we do source checkup upon those things as well. So we force our guys to put source in. I mean, are they doing it 100%? I wish they did, but it is very important for us. And we tell them, you guys work so hard to make that dollar for your shop. We want to make sure you tell us where to spend your advertisement money. So make sure you put the source in. Make sure you put the source in. Do not just put drive by, drive by, drive by. And with that, we don't really rely on ad pages or Google or whoever it may be to tell us how we did on that campaign. We check ourselves how we did. And it tells us, and believe it or not, some shops do better at certain platforms than the other platforms. And back to your original question, once you have certain amount of shops, I've noticed one thing: the older shops, we don't have to do advertisement as much as we used to. So once you have a book of business, all you need to worry about is retention. That's what you need to worry about. What is year after year retention? How could you actually block those holes that I call? How could you stop from the water to leak out of that bucket? And those holes could be anything: bad customer service, image, not fixing the cars proper, over promising, under delivering, whatever it may be. So retention is what matters after a while. But at first, I would say, kind of like what Carl said, well, Kenny said, go to the neighborhood. We do exactly the same. We go
Right.
to our neighbors. That's the first thing we do. And we tell them, we're coming here. Matter of fact, I do that even before I buy a shop, just to figure out if I want to be there. So then you start from within and you kind of expand outward. And that's what it is.
So having a good CRM, a customer management retention relationship program, and having everyone in there, you can do a lot with that, right?
Oh, 100%. I'm going to blow your mind on this one. So we have our own CRM system, gentlemen.
Fantastic.
So yes. I got to give credit to my team. Great guys from very unrelated industry. I had basically partnered up with, and by partnered up, I mean, I actually never call anybody my employee. I say we're a family, we're partners. So I hired this gentleman, and he's been with me. He was smart enough where whatever we wanted to do, and we had all the CRMs that you could probably name. So things that we were missing, we decided, you know what, we're going to have our own CRM. And now our CRM, we can control it a lot better. Believe it or not, I don't want to knock down on anyone, but a lot of those things that we were getting back from the CRMs that we've had in the past, they weren't 100% accurate. And my guy started picking on those. And when he would approach these, the customer service or speak with those salespeople, I mean, they literally didn't have answers to his questions. And they're like, holy cow, would you want to come work for us? So we built our own, and we realized CRM is huge. You better have CRM. You want to we send texts, we send emails to all the customers, something great just to let you know, to make it more personalized. Have your team's picture on it. All our text messages and our emails have the whole team's picture, and it says, have we earned your trust today, when they leave? And that is something great. That's where we start from. And then we send constant reminders. Then we send happy birthdays, just so you know, and so on and so forth. I mean, I can go on and on, but having a strong CRM is the most important thing once you get that customer through the door.
You've said that really well, and I think we're all sitting here drooling about going, oh wow, I'd like to have enough people on staff to do that. So I guess I got to get to 7 or 8 stores to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it wouldn't really make any financial sense for now. Go with some good name.
Right.
I'm sure Carm can probably tell you about some of those as well. There are a few really great ones, but my guy, I mean, he's from the tech industry, so he actually laughs at automotive industry on whole.
Right.
He's like, we're so back in Stone Ages, so he's trying to help us move up.
Yeah, we just had this conversation last night with some actually dealership guys about the changes that's coming down the pike for the dealership, and the Stone Age and the New Age. You know, they're really getting hammered right now with this chip shortage. But
Tracy, did you kick Carm out?
He's having some technical difficulties because his power went out.
Oh, well, this is a good replacement.
I mean, he did say this was going to be a fun pod. So.
So he called me and said that my power's out because I had messaged him, you're frozen on screen. And he said the power is out. So, he said, if you guys want to kind of try to wrap it up and say, any last discussion or any of your key talking points that we maybe didn't cover. Okay. And then we'll kind of end a little bit early today then.
Yeah.
I tell you, I don't know about Kenny, but I feel like I should be in the audience listening. I could just listen to Kevin talk.
Right. Same here.
Yeah. If you just want to go, I mean, it's just like I've got my notepad and my
right.
pen.
I was thinking I don't have anything to write on in front of me.
No, I totally appreciate you guys. You guys are too kind.
Right.
And I agree. I always tell everyone, if you go to if you join a gymnasium, make sure you go with someone who's stronger than you. He may not be benefiting from you, but you will definitely benefit from him. And I do the same. I do a lot of networking, and I go to guys who have a lot more stores than I do. Not only that, something that I've done, Carl, Kenny, and to the audiences who are listening, I actually go and see all the different industries and see why do people, matter of fact, even before that, colleges, universities, why do students go to certain trades? Why do they choose certain what is the word I'm looking for? So certain career paths. Why do they choose those things? What is the reason? So now then I go to that industry, see what do they provide better? And then I try to adhere that to our industry.
Makes sense.
How could I do that? And that's where it all starts from as far as that's concerned. Now, with that said, we're talking about growing sales. To me, it's all about focusing on the relationship, not transaction. That's one of the biggest things that I talked about earlier. Right. Knowing your surroundings, where you're going, who your customers are. Image plays a big role, and I know we all talked about it.
Right.
Something. So from our research, it shows majority of our clientele is females anyhow, and we try to have female-friendly lobbies. That's how we that's what we call them. And what is that? Firstly, try to have a female behind the desk as well, if possible. If not,
bingo.
Yeah,
bingo.
That's huge.
Yep.
And we have fresh flowers at both of our shops as well.
Yeah. Excellent. Yep. And then I have the guys who are standing behind the desk where we train them how to speak with females, because if you talk too much, they would think that you're trying to get a one above them, one over them. And they also, and I told my guys, if they call, well, Carm's back. Yay.
Hey.
You get your light back?
Oh, we got video,
no audio.
He'll be back. He's the
so keep going, Kevin. I'm learning.
Taking notes.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I won't bore you with the details of losing power the other night and then again today. But yeah, sorry guys. Thank you for carrying on. Appreciate it.
No, we're carrying on. We're talking about. By the way, before I carry on, Carm is in the same town I went to school in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss Buffalo. So anyhow, guys, so about having the female-friendly lobbies, what do I mean by that is basically telling the guy standing behind the desk just to be very mindful
Yes.
because they already do not know what you're talking about. Slow down a little bit, take your time. Don't call them to the desk. Something great that we do, I tell my guys to walk out to the lobby, go sit next to them.
Right.
COVID has changed that a little bit. Now I tell them, keep a little bit distance. Go sit with them and educate them, tell them. And then tell them, hey, if you want me to speak with anyone that you'd like to, if there's something I wasn't able to explain better, then let me know. I will speak with them. So it's building trust. Then also, how is it female friendly? It's very clean. Um, it has different touches to the lobby, and I can go on and on. What all do we do? The bathrooms are clean. They
Yes.
smell good.
Yes.
Smell
It's huge.
is very
Right.
important. Yep. And just to let you know, something that we do, we talked about image, first image. So it's very important. The first impression that you put, the way we do redo our lobbies, the way we remodel them, our focus is contemporary, modern, straight lines.
Mhm.
That's really important. I'll go and I'll see those grandma couches in waiting lobbies. That's a big no-no for us. That's a big no-no because that's what they think. Then they take you then as one of those old mechanics,
Right.
grease.
Yep.
So ours are more modern, and it actually it delivers a message that we're digital, we're modern,
Mhm.
we're advanced, and that's really what it is. So that's just some of the things, and you guys are always welcome to get my number and contact me anytime.
I am sure I missed some really good stuff. But I want to take my final time out. We'll come back and we'll put a bow on this. Hey, let's face it, technicians are your inventory of time, and it's the only inventory that expires every minute of every single day. Maximize sales and speed to get the cars moving through your business faster. Learn more at getshopware.com. And are you missing out on customers who call the shop during off hours? Well, with Broadly's web chat feature, customers can get the answers they need even when you're not in the shop. Check them out on the web at getbroadly.com/chat. Hey, thank you guys for pitch hitting for me. This is a first. 251 weeks. First time I lost power
It's
here at the
usually
office.
with me.
Oh my
I'm usually
God.
the one that messes it up.
Well, like Kenny
yeah.
said, you said it was going to be an interesting podcast. So.
Yeah,
Thanks for that.
We're gonna bust our butts to edit to stitch this thing together. I'll tell you that. Wow. Yeah, I just can't believe it. But anyway, there's always a first, and thank God that my temperance held and I didn't go crazy off the wall because the power came back. Hey guys, I have a pretty hard stop here in about 5 minutes. So I although I don't know what you guys talked about in the last 10 minutes, but thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. Let's just go around the room and anything that you didn't cover that you wanted to cover that it's going to put a great bow on this episode. Let's do this. Carl, I'll start with you, Carl.
I think we hit most of the points that really are top of mind. We really didn't talk about guerrilla marketing, but we did talk about it. That door-to-door thing, that restaurant thing, all of those things where you're just face-to-face with the customers or potential customers. I mean, we walked around neighborhoods putting things in people's doors and stuff like that. And we did touch on that, but all the rest of the stuff, I think we touched on and at least got out there, and I can't say enough about being professional. And I think Kevin hit it on the head. Being professional, you got to look professional first.
Yeah.
Wow, how important that is. Thank you so much, Carl. Appreciate you being here, Kenny.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we didn't really touch too much on is, Carl said it kind of being in the community, but one of the things we did is we got pretty heavily involved with the Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go to meetings and things like that, way before we opened up. One of the ways I found the shop was talking to the city and taking a ride in a car. They drove me around and showed me all these different locations. But being in the community has always been our huge setup. And, like I said, the Chamber of Commerce and then the poker chips and all that stuff. So.
Thank you for that. I love that. Did you guys talk SEO, social media at all while I was gone? No. Okay. All right. Yeah. Look at that. Well, all right, good.
Whole nother episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, there you
yes,
go.
it is. Yes, it is. How much do we love social
Yeah.
media?
Absolutely,
Kevin, wrap it up for us.
So we talked about, just like everyone else said, we touched the most important points. Something that we do as well, kind of like what Kenny said. Yes, Chamber of Commerce and all that. We do it all the time. We do all sorts of food drives and stuff. Something thinking outside the box that we've also been doing, gentlemen. We've been we'd go to, like, I'll give you an example. We'd go to good restaurants and we'll tell them that we want to write a blog on you. Absolutely nothing to do with us. We're going to write a blog like the best restaurant or a great burger joint in DFW.
It's a good idea.
And that blog gets out and it actually gets a lot of reads. It gets a lot of hits on it. And guess what? That's free advertisement for us. And what is in it for us? Really nothing, just exposure. So we do a lot of those things as well. But otherwise, yes, we've talked about everything. Just to the bottom line, I'd say, to wrap it up on this, would be knowing where you're going. Then once you get that location for the sale, the most important thing is the image, the way you treat the customers. First impression is important, making sure you're on the best game, on your A game. And just once you have those customers, give them a reason to stay, and then just watch your retention. That's really about it. Treat people the way they want to be treated. I always tell people,
Bingo.
do not treat them the way you want to be treated, because you may be a different person than most people. So treat them the way they want to be treated.
Yeah.
Great final words. I appreciate that. By the way, a lot of the things that Kevin was talking about, he did cover in an episode that we did together with his guy Rami. It was episode 683. A lot of Kevin's great strategies were discussed in that episode, 683. Kevin Said, 8-location integrity, First Automotive Dallas, Fort Worth, Metroplex. Carl Hutchinson's 2 locations, Complete Automotive in Springfield, Missouri, and Kenny Wedow, Fine Tune Auto, 2 locations, Broomfield and Erie, Colorado. Thanks for carrying the episode. Wow. I owe you guys a drink next time I see you. Enjoy your
Thanks.
enjoy your
Thanks, guys.
weekend, and happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Great one.
Appreciate it.